Hey everyone, it's Chrissy from Everyday Survival Gear, and today we're just going to be checking out the Sofern D25S, which is basically like a generic style light. I've been doing a lot of those lately. That Sofern has apparently made better, so we'll check it out for ourselves and see if we agree. The funny thing is that the way that Sofern made this light was the way that I was meant to make this light. So about a year and a half ago now, I bought one of these. And instead of sending me the one with like two LEDs, the company sent me the model with one LED. And then what ended up happening was I was going to mod it with two SST40s, and I never got a chance to because I ended up losing it. Not sure where it is or what happened to it, but it's long gone. It's probably got lost when I was fishing or something. So this is it here, the D25S. It's sold under a lot of different names, so it's not only Sofern that makes it, but I'm pretty sure that Sofern is the only one that puts the SST40 in there. They also changed the driver slightly too, so that's pretty cool. Yeah. My original one actually had XML2s in it. So it comes in a pretty plain box. It comes with instructions that are just written out on paper, and a micro USB cable. It does have a inbuilt USB charging port. So I brought this light myself from Sofern on AliExpress. I probably don't really need any more lights, and especially any more headlamps. But because it was made the way that I wanted to make it, I had to buy it and check it out because I really wanted to do this mod. So basically, Sofern say from cheap D25 headlamp, we make D25S, so D25S, featuring two SST40 emitters, 1200 lumens, and better UI. See, the thing about it is, I didn't actually mind the old UI. It wasn't great. It was supposed to be stepless dimming, but it was still just modes that cycled on its own. And I thought it was a pretty neat gimmick. Only problem was it didn't really have a proper low mode. But yeah, so we'll read out the specs. So apparently it does up to 1200 lumens. It's got two medium modes. So it's got a low mode, 70 lumens, medium mode, 120 lumens, medium mode 2, 300 lumens, high mode, 600 lumens, and turbo mode, 1200. Sofern done a really good job here. Running time depends on the battery capacity. No shit. My goodness. You're supposed to test it with like a standard cell, like 3000 milliamps, but okay. Water resistance IPX6. It does have O-rings like everywhere. I haven't actually checked inside here. I might have to pull it apart and check. But there are O-rings here and O-rings here. So that's the battery way. If you want to get to the charging port, you just undo like so. Or is that the other way around? There's the charging port there. So yeah, it does have O-rings there. So it charges 5 volt 1 amp via hidden USB. SST40s in cool white. Its dimensions are 86 mils in length and 25 mil head diameter. I'm pretty sure that is wrong, but yeah. They also reckon that it weighs 80 grams plus or minus 2 grams. So cool. No worries, bro. It is a little bit heavier than most other headlamps in this category, but then most other headlamps, they don't really have two LEDs. And they're kind of the L shape now. You don't really get too many headlamps in this style now. So yeah. That is pretty much it, I guess. We'll have a look around the light. Obviously, it's not made out of cheese. It is made out of aluminium alloy. It is hard anodized. I did scratch it here. Can you guys see? That's the wrong side. I'm gonna have to undo this or do it back up, I should say. You can see I did scratch it there, trying to get this out. I was trying to get the switch out because on my last one I took the switch out and I was looking around at it. The switch is actually built into the driver, I believe. So that's why I was trying to get at this, but it slipped and I scratched it. Sofern probably glued it on. That's the problem is if you try to mod a light before you review it, you might fuck it. So yeah, that's alright. I brought it myself. What else? No, I forgot what I was saying. The lens actually feels like plastic. It doesn't feel like it's glass. I might just pull it apart and turn the camera off and double check because I could be wrong. Alright, so yeah, I got it apart. That's the front end there. So these are OP reflectors, orange peel style. They are aluminium alloy, so yes, they're not plastic. I thought it would have been plastic. I'm pretty sure on the old one it was plastic. And the lenses are actually glass. Look how small they are. Freaking tiny as. Even the reflectors are kind of like custom made. Maybe my one was plastic because it was the bigger, not the double LED. It was a singular LED. And they got O-rings on them. Fucking focus, you fuck. So those lenses have O-rings on them, but there's no O-ring inside here, and this piece is actually plastic. So you can see there is a groove for an O-ring, but there is no O-ring there. So not sure how well that's going to keep out water. You can probably just pack in grease or something inside there, and that'll keep out water. So that just sits on like so, and then that's pretty much it. And the other thing to really look at is pull apart the battery here. Looks like a gold-plated spring on that side. I've got a pretty good cell in there now, and you guys can't really see it, but the driver's inside there. So yeah, when you pull apart this and you plug in the micro USB, it's either got a red light for charging or a green light for fully charged. So that's basically the whole light. So we can take it outside now and compare it to a few other lights. Also, I didn't mention it does come with the bands, with the headbands. Also, it's not one that. How many times have I said also? I'm pissing myself off. It's not one that comes with like a top mount with a top band, but it does actually fit into the normal style one. So we got a generic one here. Well, it's a Convoy brand. They're a bit small for my fat head, but they are a pretty good price. I'm like so you'll see that'll fit in. Getting a lot of glare on the camera, and that fits in like so. So you can see kind of like this style of the generic one does kind of work. It'll still swivel and whatnot, and it fits in fine. You got to push it across the whole way, but yeah, pretty cool. I guess that's pretty much it. We'll take it outside now and compare it to a few other lights, and I'll show you the UI and stuff. And that's what it looks like when it's charging. I wasn't going to show you, but I knew someone will start whinging if I didn't, so that's it there. This cell is fully charged now. Alright guys, now we've got the SoFern D25S outside. It's on the slowest mode right now, 70 lumens. It does feel a tad high for a headlamp to be 70 lumens on the slowest mode, but yeah, it's not the worst amount of light. It's probably pretty good for when you're fishing. If you had to do up like a lure or something, you wouldn't really want it way too much brighter than this. So push and hold. Next mode is medium 1, and apparently it's 120 lumens. So yeah, it actually lights up my whole backyard. Pretty good, not too bad. Sure, it's not bright, but yeah, I don't know how good it'll look on the screen, but it's not too bad in real life. Alright, next is medium mode 2, which is 300 lumens. So quite a bump up in output there. I must say, because it's got two LEDs and they are pretty wide LEDs, they're I think 5mm in size, 4 or 5mm in size. So the amount of light is pretty widespread. I'm actually standing behind the camera because I've got it on my head. Usually I kind of have the light beside the camera, so yeah, might be interfering a little bit with the camera. Put it up a little bit. Next is high mode, so 600 lumens. So that's right there. I'll take it off my head actually. Right there, that's a lot of light. That's more than enough for my whole backyard. And the beam is also super wide too, which is pretty good. And next we've got turbo mode, 1200 lumens. So there we go, 1200 lumens. So you can see more than enough light to light up the whole backyard with pretty good detail too. So you can see it does appear to be brighter than 1000 lumens. Also, like, it is a pretty spread out beam too, so keep that in mind. That even though the low mode is 70 lumens, when it's on your head, because it is coming out of two LEDs, it is going to be pretty wide, so it's not too intense right in front of you. So if we try to go to the tree at 100 meters, I don't think it will even make it there. Nah, I can't even see it in person at 100 meters. So yeah. I did notice one thing that the instructions didn't tell you. So it is push to hold to change modes. So it goes up, right? But then if you stop, click, and you push and hold, it'll go back down. It'll go the other way. So highest, medium, low, and then you can push and hold again, and that should go up and down mode like so. and I think it's double click to like strobe or something. So yeah, alright, that's a pretty long ass beam shot, so one click off and we'll get another light. Alright guys, so this is the Skill Hunt H03 on its highest mode, which is supposed to be about 1000 lumens. It's pretty much, because it's neutral white, closer to about 800. So we'll throw on the D25S. So D25S here and Skill Hunt H03 here. The Skill Hunt is in its highest mode, I'm pretty sure. I might just click, turn it back on. Yeah, it is. It's just because of the optics and the neutral white tint. So you can see the D25S is a lot brighter than the Skill Hunt H03. Side by side. So Skill Hunt here, D25S there. Alright guys, this is the Nitecore HC33 on its highest mode. So this is supposed to be about, I think they rated at 1800 lumens. I measured it like 2100 myself. I'll just keep playing with it, and I did see it step down a bit. So this should be the hardest competition for the D25S. So D25S here, Nitecore here. So you can see the Nitecore is probably a little bit brighter. It's not too much brighter, but then the beam pattern is completely different too. So this is the D25S here. Is that its highest mode? Yeah, that is its highest mode. On its highest mode, D25S and Nitecore HC33. The Nitecore is getting hot really quickly too. So there isn't too much difference in output because the HC33 does step down pretty quick, while the D2S is probably running a lot less amps, so it doesn't need to step down quite as quick. And plus the body's a little bit bigger too, probably helps it. Alright guys, this is the Immelent HR20. I forgot the name for a minute, but then I haven't used this light that much. The good thing about this light is XBR HI, so it does throw and it does get to the tree at 100 meters. So for a headlamp, that's pretty good. It's supposed to be about 1000 lumens. And here the D25S to the left and Immelent to the right. So to be honest, that's the D25S. A much wider beam, you can see. And that's the HR20. So the D25S is a lot brighter, so I don't know what's going on there. SoFrame could be underrating the 1200 lumens or whatnot. I think the Immelent is pretty close to the 1000 lumens, but you shouldn't really make too much of a difference. The extra 200 lumens. I think just the wider beam on the D25S. Alright guys, so that's pretty much the video done. The SoFrame D25S supposed to be an upgrade of a cheapo light for $16-17 US. I reckon that's a really good buy. Only thing I'll probably change is the headband, because it could use a better headband. You can see it's slowly stepping down. It is getting hot. I have had it on for quite a while, but so yeah. And as always guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.